Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and this is a conversation. This is another clip from the show that James Crypto for Life did on his channel. The entire show is right here. This is another clip where Linda P. Jones is giving her XRP price analysis, basically giving you an adults in the room conversation.
Our timing isn't their timing. So you know, what's happening with Bitcoin or what's happening with Ethereum or what's happening with other cryptos is what's happening with other cryptos. It has nothing to do, really. I mean, in the end, they're all related to some degree in the 4-year cycle and all that. But Ripple is its own case. It's not just any ordinary company, and XRP is not just any crypto. So we can't compare it and say it should be doing this, it should be doing that. It's related to the world's reserve currency. It's related to the monetary system. It's related to the huge cross-border payment whole mechanism that's about to change and take place. And crypto has to be...
I like that. Ripple's not an ordinary company and XRP is not an ordinary digital asset.
A lot more simple for people to use too. The way that we use it today with wallets and exchanges and everything is too cumbersome for the everyday person. It needs to be a lot more simple. There's a lot of pieces to this that have to come in to make this so that the everyday person can use it more simply. And so there's pieces that we're missing. So we need that. We need the crypto laws. We need, you know, the tokenization piece that's coming in for derivatives and for other things that are going to be huge on XRP and running across the XRP ledger. So I think, you know, people just need to, number one, have confidence in what they own. You guys have done so much research. Nobody has done more research in the XRP community, okay? Nobody. You guys are all extremely well educated. You've seen all the articles for years.
I would say nobody's done more research on one asset in the history of the planet.
You've seen all the relationships, you know the technology, you know everything that's going on, and found out a lot of things during the lawsuit that even helped the company.
That's right.
So, I mean, the XRP army is second to none. So you guys know what you own. And I think, yes, it's frustrating because everybody wants to have their wealth and everyone knows the wealth that potentially could be coming, and we all would love to have it now. And I know everybody needs it now because, you know, 60% of people don't even have $500 to take care of an emergency, right? So things are really bad, and I understand that. I also know it has to be done according to plan, and it has to be done according to the whole system, because it's not just the US that's involved here. This is a global situation. We're going to a level playing field globally. We're talking about all of the nations going to a different currency. And so this is a huge project. It's been going on for over 15 years, and it's something that will happen in its right time. And I think we're coming into that time. So I think we're very close to that time.
I do too. We're seeing it all unfold. Here's Anthony Scaramucci, who does endorse John Deaton.
Do you have updates on the institutional adoption of Bitcoin? I've seen some comments just recently. The PayPal guy said everything is eventually going to be on Lightning or something. I mean,
Lightning Network. Well, I mean, listen, we'll talk about Lightning Network if you want, but I think the institutional adoption is happening now. The state of Wisconsin announced, we expect other pension funds to announce, and of course, Bitcoin now has the regulatory approval, and I think that was the rate limiting step for a lot of these large scale institutions. And
actually, it really just has the opinions of the current regulators. It does not have regulatory approval. Now, here's Perry and Boring. Today is the day that they're, I think, like right now, they're like debating before they vote on the SOB 121 bill. This is That's the bill. My understanding is that it would allow Bitcoin custody by major financial institutions.
We led that effort on the Hill. We did a very significant campaign working closely with Congressman Flood as well as many other members to help them understand just how devastating this is and why this really impacts the American financial system from being able to compete in this new technological frontier. And that led to Congress pushing on the Government Accountability Office to look into this. The GAO issued a report just a couple months ago, and their findings verified that the SEC had violated the Administrative Procedures Act in the way that it put forward the SAB 121 rules. And what that means is that Congress can completely nullify it. So just last week, a joint resolution was introduced in both the House and the Senate to fully nullify SAB 121 or end it. So there are some silver linings here.
Okay, so that's what's going on. Then you have, of course, you've got Elizabeth Warren, who we need out of office. Time to vote this old crow out, because John Deaton is the good guy that's running against her. This is her trying to, she doesn't want the bill to pass.
Our vote today is on a staff accounting bulletin issued by the SEC back in the spring of 2022. Now, the SEC has issued these bulletins, they're called SABs, for nearly 50 years without anyone ever suggesting that they were subject to the CRA. The CRA has a time limit for a reason, so that settled law is...
You don't have to listen to any more of her garbage. Bank XRP says, old crow, my coffee's now on the floor. True story. Speaking of Bank XRP, by the way, Bank XRP came backstage with us at XRP Las Vegas. Extremely nice guy. He's old school. He's been here, I believe, since before me, like well before I came into the game. He's one of the good guys. And he put this clip from, this guy keeps popping up, this Reese Merritt guy from Ripple. Check him out.
And really from a Ripple perspective, you know, what you need, and we've always talked about, is having and building that real utility, especially around things like tokenization, where we're really going to see the market expand and further institutional interest. I think from a Ripple perspective, just to point out, you know, Ripple are a tech enterprise business company. We utilize XRP and XRP Ledger as a method to move and bridge currency cross-border. So for us, what we do is we take less of an interest in terms of like the daily kind of crypto movements and the growth, and more kind of zoom out, and we're focused around building real utility. What I would say is that it has been a tipping point of these large players coming in, which are obviously going to be overall good for the industry. But I think we'll continue to have to see real use cases around to have that real mainstream adoption. Look, I think the UA has done a remarkable job in really kind of putting itself in a position to be the global crypto hub, right? You know, if you think from a regulatory perspective, the DFSA under the DIFC have done some fantastic job in terms of building out what that framework looks like. From a Ripple perspective, last year, they actually approved XRP as a digital asset that can be used for DIFC registered firms, which is fantastic. It gives that clarity in the market that people need. We also have VARA, which is the first standalone regulator globally here. So I would say the UA is taking phenomenal steps in taking steps forward into building out a clear framework for businesses to operate fairly here. I think I'll go back to regulation here. So essentially where we're seeing a number of advancements in the UAE, I think for crypto to really propel to what we believe it can do in terms of the efficiencies around moving money, payments, tokenization, we need more regulation globally. So if you think, you know, UAE, Europe, Switzerland, Singapore, to name a few, have done fantastic jobs in building out clear frameworks and regimes, but we need the rest of the world to kind of follow that. This is quite topical from a Ripple perspective. You know, our CEO recently announced on all his social medias, we produced a video talking about how scams, you know, are happening more frequently these days. You know, I would suggest people to go online and watch that. But what I would say is that Ripple will never, ever ask.
Okay, enough of that. Check this out. Look, what do you know? Jamie Dimon is getting into blockchain and payments.
We're adding technology around payments and even the blockchain called Onyx to move data and maybe move money one day. We're constantly investing. We have 200 people, 2,000 people in AI and machine learning, 400 use cases on the way to probably 800.
I know. So if I speak to you in 5 years, how much bigger and how much different
You'll probably
will you
be speaking to a fake diamond who's just answering questions.
What, an avatar?
He's been doing all of that while Ripple's been locked up in a lawsuit. Imagine that. Then we've got Joseph Lubin, who is has now surfaced because they are suing the SEC. Now, I want to remind you all, the 10 years has lapsed since the Ethereum ICO. So I'm not an attorney, but any statute of limitations is gone now. The SEC hasn't sued Consensus yet. They threatened to sue them. Consensus is now suing them. The only topics that are going to be covered are post-merge topics. So everything before the merge, which would include the ICO, the Bill Hinman speech, ETHgate, all of it, none of that's even being addressed, folks, because they can't, because that's where all the bodies are buried. Everything else is a distraction to me. But even if it's real, you're not going to get me to feel sorry for Joseph Lubin anytime soon. Watch this. This is Joseph Lubin in his interview today versus Joseph Lubin, I think it was 2018 or 19.
Their action.
It was post-Hinman speech Lubin in the second part.
Their action seems intended to create FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt for our industry, and in an attempt to paralyze us or have us move offshore. So our action is about getting clarity from U.S. courts.
We certainly need bodies like the SEC to scare many projects straight, to create a context of concern so that many different projects think twice and do their legal homework before releasing the token.
Oh, okay. Well, looks like Brazil, David Schwartz came in to, what's it called? No, not ETH. Yeah, ethereum. And XRP Ledger is there. And you've got, that must be Jazzy Cooper on stage. Here's David Schwartz coming in via satellite or via Zoom. Ethereum, Rio, Ripple, and XRP Ledger. Pretty darn cool. All right. Again, we've said it 1,000 times. It was never about us destroying Ethereum. It's about getting all the bad actors from the SEC, wherever they are, out of this space. That's what it was about. And getting a level playing field. Now in DAIXRP.com, here's what we're going to talk about. There's a guy that says it's about to get wild for XRP. Then I want to show you a clip. I could not remember if I showed it to you, but I believe that it was one of the more like, whoa, moments at XRP Las Vegas. And I wanted to show it because I couldn't remember if I had shown it. So here we go. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that apparently it's about to get wild for XRP. Here we go.